Good day. My name is Jason Matthews from Eben Business Solutions. I'm passionate about mentoring and coaching entrepreneurs to see their vision come to pass. One of the challenges small businesses have in the beginning are a lack of knowledge of the business administrative steps in setting up a business. Honestly, I struggled in the beginning. I had questions like, how do I register a company on the CIPC website? What do I name my company? How do I acquire a tax clearance certificate for the company? How do I acquire a letter of good standing from Quadrant? What insurance do I need? I keep hearing about public liability insurance. How do I acquire a triple BEE certificate? How do I set up my business bank account? What accounting tool do I use for my bookkeeping? All of this is overwhelming, and sometimes we end up sourcing these administrative services from small companies who charge normally about 1,000 Rand and more. The one thing that I invested in was time with an accountant. Accountants are generally knowledgeable about the business administrative processes and have had practical experience with different entities such as the CIPC, Department of Labor, SARS, and so on. Every time I sat with my accountant, I took notes and researched further to have a better understanding. Clients or customers want a lot of business documents before they do business with you, especially corporate companies. My challenge was that I had not seen an example of what these documents look like. I researched on the internet. Some videos, some articles were helpful. However, I could not picture what these documents look like. Instead of using available services in the market, I decided to do the business administrative process myself to test the robustness of these processes. I had access to a computer or a laptop, a printer and a scanner, a cell phone, and a phone and internet. And that's all. And that's how I set up my business. After going through the different processes, I realized South Africa has made it relatively easy to open up a company. There is a lot of online services available, and I had to follow the process, send documents via email or online, and wait for them to respond. I did not wait in long queues at these departments, as everything was done online or via call centers or on the CRM systems known as the Customer Relations Management Systems. I would do some activities, certify documents, and submit them, and wait for a response. And also, very importantly, I had to follow up. The one thing that I reminded myself was that my application was one out of 100 applications that someone is going through. So I had to be patient and empathetic to the person handling my application. I had to try not to be rude when the process was taking too long. And I had to address the process and not blame the person. And a lot of departments have good processes that are managed on a system, so your application can be traced and tracked. I had my accountant who was there to encourage me on the process and to reassure me that some steps would take long. At the end, I have gained some insight into the process and would like to share the end picture of what you're about to go into. So I've created some videos of some of the processes from my experience with some topics, and also share other training videos created by other professionals that want to share knowledge to upcoming entrepreneurs. You will be able to see the videos on the Eben Business Solutions YouTube channel and from the Eben Business Solutions website. All that information is noted below. However, today I want to briefly share with you the mindset required in setting up a business. You need to be teachable, especially when you're doing things for the first time. Even if it does not work according to the advice given, and there was some hiccup, it's okay. Learn from it and document it for the future. You need to be comfortable with technology, as most institutes, governmental departments, and companies make information available on their websites, and most applications are done online. You need to learn how to multitask, as some activities take time. Try and know which activities are dependent on each other so that you plan out the sequence of your activities. You need to learn how to research on topics that you are not familiar with and keep asking questions. As you enter into the business world, it's time to change your mindset. One book I can recommend is Robert Kiyosaki's Cashflow Quadrant. I've placed links to YouTube videos that summarize the principle of the cash flow quadrants. However, read the book online for insights to acknowledge any mental blocks that prevent you from transitioning from one cash flow quadrant to the other. Sometimes our mental blocks stem from our mindsets that we've adopted from our parents, family, and friends, and the community. In this diagram, I'm going to show you Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrants. In the first quadrant, you have E, which means or stands for employee. This is where you work for someone and acquire a steady income. S is for a self-employed or a small business where you outsource yourself. However, the risk is that if you cannot work, there is no income. The next quadrant is called B for big business, where you employ other people to run and implement systems to be profitable in a company. The last quadrant is I for investor, where you look for ideas or businesses to invest your money and allow the money to grow. Trading shares or being a funder for entrepreneurs. The point that I need to make on the quadrants is that before you start your company, assess where you are currently and where you want to go. From here, you will understand what mindset changes are required to make the transition easy. Thus, if you are still employed, I would advise you to gain experience across the value chain from sales and marketing, operations, finance and budgeting, and managing employees. This helps you transition to a small or a big business easier. However, if you are unemployed and have an idea and want to start a business, then you require a lot of learning, coaching, and mentoring as you transition to becoming unemployed to a business owner. However, there are national institutes such as the National Development Agency, NYDA, CEDA, and enterprise development programs from private companies that can provide business courses for free. So use those opportunities to educate yourself so that you do not become frustrated along the journey of managing yourself to managing others. Great, so that's all for this presentation and video. I trust that it has encouraged you, and the following videos will give you more detail of the documents that you require when you're setting up your business.